Hey everyone, Eric here from Netflix. Got another video for you guys today. Hope you guys are all doing well. We got this G drive that's not doing so well itself. This is a 6 terabyte G drive, and it's in here for data recovery. The customer said it's just not powering on and can't access the data, so we need to go get it for them. So let's go ahead and do that. First, what we're going to do is we're going to see if it powers on, right? Let's see if we can see what the customer is seeing. So we got the power cable and we have our USB connection. Just plug that in. So it just goes in like, it's like a USB, looks like one of those printer cables, right? So big USB cables. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Use our extender, let's plug it in and see what we get. Oh, and you heard that, and we got a USB device not recognized. You can see that in the corner, it just popped up for like a split second there, but that was it. So we got a USB device not recognized, so that probably means we don't actually see a drive itself there. Let's go ahead and bring up disk management, and we do see that there's this disk 5 removable F, no media, which usually means it could just be the enclosure, like a USB connection that was connected there, and it just doesn't see anything else in there because it's just USB, right? So let's go ahead, let's remove it from that casing and let's take a look at it further. All right, let's take it out of the enclosure. We can see it's a Western Digital 6 terabyte drive, right? That's there. Okay. And this is your USB converter board, right, to make it convenient for people to use USB connection. So let's go ahead and remove that because that could be a point of failure. You have capacitors, you have other things there. Now we have a standalone drive with a regular SATA board. It's a large capacity drive. It is a 6 terabyte. It's not helium based. If it's helium, you would have it sealed in a different way. All right, so we took out the screws. Let's go ahead and try our sled here because we want to eliminate one. Let's plug it in. Let's see what we get. And oh no, we got no light. So it looks like that there's something going on. If the disk isn't spinning, that usually indicates that there's some issue, right, maybe around here. And you can see there's usually a spindle motor connection that goes on the other side of the PCB. So let's go ahead and remove the PCB. Let's take a look at it and see if we find like a short or something there. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove it. And this is it. So you have a connection here as well as these contacts over here, and they're two separate ones. That's on the other side of the drive. We're gonna go take a look. We're gonna use some thermal imaging because we don't see anything obvious just with our naked eye, like a burn or anything there. Let's go ahead and check out the thermal cam and see the activity that happens with that, because that's usually a good indicator, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in over here, and you guys are gonna see. All right, so we're gonna be using our thermal imaging cam right here, and I'm gonna just slide it over there for you guys to see. So let's go ahead and switch to that. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look. All right, plug it in, what do we get here? So it looks pretty dead overall. We don't really see anything. So everything looks not so great. We're getting a little thermal activity close to like some power areas, but that's about it, nothing really screaming or shouting. We're not getting any obvious thermal activity. We don't see any obvious damage. So there's a short somewhere here. There's a few things you could do. We can measure for a short and see where that short is coming from. Usually when you do that, you probably have to have a donor PCB anyway. Luckily for this one, we do actually have this PCB. So you're gonna see what this PCB, this is a good working PCB. We're gonna see how that works under the thermal cam. So we'll try it over there again. We'll bring that up and you'll see the difference on it when we switch back over to our screen capture. And when we plug it in, we're gonna actually see normal thermal activity on the PCB there. So we can see our controller, we can see IC area, and you even heard that little boop boop from my Windows 2. So that's a normal, healthy, good PCB. So since we do have a good working PCB, we can do a few things, right? We can use it as a donor, or we can use it as a donor, right? You can use it as a donor for components if we need anything, or we can also use it as a donor to swap over BIOS just to make sure everything's good. Okay, so let's go over here. Looks like we need to remove one first, so we'll do that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's remove this one. It's your BIOS. If you look up the number too, you can also see it. It will usually come up as like megabytes or something, so. Okay, see that? Came right up. All right, let's go get our donor, which is right here. We already removed it. It's gonna be in pretty much the same spot there. So I'm gonna put it back. right. Now let's go ahead and put it back on. So we fixed the power issue on the drive. We should be good now, right? Now we're going to be using our advanced data recovery tools. It's very important to be using these advanced data recovery tools after any type of power issue because you don't know in the state the drive was in before that. If there's any type of problems, any firmware issue, translator, or any other problems with the drive itself there, our advanced data recovery tools can be used to work with the drive to make sure that the data is recovered successfully. It also provides a complete image of the drive and doesn't put as much stress on the heads when reading from the surface area. We want to make sure that's done properly there, especially when you have these large capacity drives. Like this is a 6 terabyte, so who knows how many heads and platters this drive actually has, and then you don't know how much data the customer does have, so you don't want to be just transferring data to a drive, especially if there's a larger capacity, because even during a transfer you could have a problem. So you always want to be sure, and that's what a data recovery center like us does, is that. So let's go ahead and use our advanced data recovery tools, plug it in, and we should get the data. With our data recovery tools, and this is a unique drive. It's actually HDST, and it's under the CCB architecture. It's very similar to a lot of the helium type drives. So it's not your typical Western Digital there. So we are able to find the utility, and we're able to work with the drive because we did get a little bit of errors. Once we fix all the errors there, we can actually go to our data extractor here, and we can look and we can see that there is an HFS partition, which is part of the G drive. It's actually configured here, and we can see the root, and we're able to actually get the data. So the data looks to be good. We're able to see it. There's a lot of data. There's like over 5 terabytes here, so it's pretty crazy. So it's good that we're creating image that we can move the data to an external drive, and data has been recovered for the customer. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video on recovering the data from a G drive, and we were able to recover the data successfully. If you guys are interested in sending in your drive for data recovery, we have all the contact links in the description down below. That goes to our website and how you can fill out a form, send in your drive, and then we can go ahead and give you options for data recovery there. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.